you guys, you have your concrete canyons and your cement prairies. This is my prairies and my canyons out here. That's pretty, no? In this landscape that we're on, people have been walking forever, using this landscape forever, okay? So welcome.
An indigenous right, a sense of, uh, you know, we have air rights, and how does that equivalate to water rights? This is sort of what this piece is about. This is about a dam and how it gives this sense of water to the community that has decided to buy it, and everyone essentially owns a piece of this water that runs throughout the dam, and it talks and dives into agriculture and uh, how people utilize and get hands on with their water. You get to see how certain pieces of the dam are essential to keeping everything at bay. And it dives into also how human responsibility has dive in, and because we have put our own hand on it and created this foundation, we have actually hurt the river more than helped aid it. And so there are these places where we can um, take accountability and take action to help improve these elements and surroundings. Um, because we have the potential to do more harm than help for a community. But you get a really well defined surface here on, you know, the uh, elements in the well, so to speak, or the dam in this case.
Really liked, like I said, the approach to it, to really learning all about this particular river, what it affects, how much water is, kind of spoken for already, before the water even gets there, and then where the water is going, that it's, feeding into three different states, and kind of all that goes into it. Then it also the getting to see the ways that water is actually used by the locals, with the learning how they direct it and flow it for their different farms and things like that. I thought it was really, really fascinating. I thought it was really, really well done. I loved how many different interviews we got, how many different aspects we were able to learn about. And like I said, it wasn't just about even the more personal aspects of the people, what it means to them, and things like that. We also heard from like hydrologists, I think that's what they're called, but like from the more scientific side of it, or the more I'm blanking on the word, but like the more conservative, like the of conservation side of things, uh to how it affects. And so I loved getting all the different perspectives and really learning all the different ways that this water has been moved and, manipulated, but then also the consequences of doing that.
The photography is beautiful. I mean, you got this great scenery, and you took good advantage of it. It was shot really, really well. It was nicely paced, edited, directed. Everything was on point with the storytelling in this documentary. It was nicely written and put together. All the interviews were conducted very, very well. Everybody communicated very well. It was interesting to see. There's always this battle between commerce and industrialization and nature. But this is a very specific struggle with this specific place, this specific river, this specific culture. And we learn the specifics of this very well in watching this piece. And the cap off at the end was very good, where the lady says, "We need new kind of warriors. We need policymakers, engineers, and scientists to help us preserve, the way of life." So it's a very good and interesting call to that society, and a very good observation for this part of the world going forward. So really well done. Also a really good score, and I just saw the title, Requiem for a River. Really good title.
It's kind of like tell us like why is it important like to keep like this landscape, like this place for the local. And it's just not about like the environmental reasons, but it's kind of linked with the natives or the locals there through like cultural aspects, through the religious aspects, and how like they live like their lives along with the Rio Grande, like for their life or throughout the generations. So it just showed that like the natural landscapes is just not like the place that you would get like producers, or you would get like water, or you would get like natural resources from them, but it's more than just that. It's a place that you feel connected with, and you feel like linked spiritually, mentally, or emotionally. So it's really important to understand this, and this is kind of like one of the case studies like in New Mexico. But it's really good to hear, good to understand like how it's important like to a group of people who really needs like a place like that like for the whole time. It's well put together as a documentary, good narration, good footages, and good visuals to include it in the doc too.
Documentary really highlighted how important the Rio Grande is to several different states. It kind of showed both sides of the climate change argument, the farmers and then the people who are more worried about the wildlife, and it shows how important this river is for everybody, really. I don't know much about farming, so when they're talking about irrigation and going to the pecans and all the peaches and the other plants, it kind of goes over my head. I'm glad they're passionate about it and that the water's working and that they know how to use it. So so it kind of waters the plants formed from the river. But then I also understand the point that the fish are going extinct. Some have been, where it's kind of going both ways in this argument for climate change. I do like that people are praying for God to heal this land and fill the river, so there's not really an argument anymore. It's showing that you kind of need to combine science with faith to really find the solution to climate change.